Hey there, Jester here. Yes, Mac's been feeling a little needy, so he gets some cuddles before I start filming. Yeah. Who's my good little distracting boy? It's you. You don't really care. Okay? Here. Okay, go sleep in your basket. So anyway, Jester here with the Mothman and the painting rig, which means we're going to be doing a little bit of painting. And if we're doing painting, Mothman needs to get out of the way, because I don't want to have to try to clean acrylic out of felt. You can go supervise from the painting rig, and it means that the cuff's got to come off. I don't want to clean acrylic out of them either. So I've just been in a bit of a painting wood things mood lately. So what I have today is one of these little wall hanging things. Show you better on the table cam. It's one of these. You can see I've already prepped it. I've already put gesso on it. Normally, wood things I would do a bit of sanding on first, but this is actually a wood product, not actual wood. This is masonite. So this is just a veneer over top that makes it look like wood. And I've already swapped out the string that comes with it. It came with this more, I don't know. I keep wanting to call it burlap, but I don't think that's right. But, you know, the more rustic looking string. And I wanted something a little fancier, so I installed this instead. So what I ended up doing was, you know, tying a knot and then putting a finishing nail through there and then gluing it to make sure it doesn't come untied. And you can see it's not the best work I've ever done, but it's a very hard angle to try to hammer. So anyway, that's all prepped. And of course, there are many things you could do with a wood panel. It doesn't have to be a wall hanging. You could use it horizontally and, you know, build something on it. You could get a bunch of them and make a tiny little shelf. But I mean, I did think about that, but then when I was in the store kind of, you know, playing with them a bit, stacking them up to see if I could make a little shelf out of them, I figured it was too small to be useful, but maybe you'd be into that sort of thing. So I'm just going to use it for its original purpose. And of course, being just a little panel, you can do anything you want with it. I could, you know, paint a little scene on each one for each of the 4 seasons. I could, you know, don't even have to paint it. I could, you know, decoupage it. I could glue flowers to it. I mean, an obvious one, since there are 4 stripes, is I could make, you know, the ace flag out of it, or any, you know, 4-stripe pride flag, or a 3-stripe one, and then, you know, put a little logo at the bottom. I could just put the names of my cats on there. I mean, you've only ever seen Mac because the other 2 have passed on due to old age and before the show started. But I could put them all on there. And now Mac is crying. What is it, baby? He just wants attention. And I want to film my show. So, well, let's get this started so that when the paint is drying, I can go play with him. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, of course, do the magnum opus. I'm going to start with black, then white, then yellow, then red. for the 4 stages. So let's get that started. My black paint. And I got my brush. And it occurs to me that I should probably have been doing this in the order of light to dark, since I will just be cleaning my brushes at the table. But it is too late now. I'm going to end up doing 2 coats to make sure that it's all properly done. And I could have put some tape down, but I didn't make sure. But I'm just going to be careful instead. And I don't want it to go on the edges here, so I'm going to be careful around the edges. If there's like a little bit, it's okay. But mostly what I will be trying to do is not touch the other edges. Okay. Well, you probably can't tell on the camera, but it is not perfect, but that's okay. I will be doing a second coat. Now, I'm going to clean my brush. I hope. I really should have started with white. Well, I'll do that when I'm doing the second coat. But, that looks pretty clean. It will do well enough. Now I want the white. And I'm going to put that on there. Not going to be quite as obvious since it's, white paint over white gesso, but it still needs to go on. There were, of course, other versions of these little wall hangings at the dollar store. There were ones that were like, actually made of wood, but they were bigger. And they had one like this, but it's a circle. But I like the tidiness of the square. I know I'm supposed to be a clown. The clowns don't have to be random. I like things to be tidy, even, symmetrical. I don't do well with randomness. How's that looking? That looks reasonably clean. Yellow. Okay, there's the yellow. And the last one will be red. In my brush. Yellow doesn't want to come out. Come on. There's a little yellow on there. There we go. That looks clean. Now for the red. there is my basic colors. And now I'm going to, well, get some new cleaning water. That doesn't look particularly appetizing. I'm going to give my brush a proper cleaning in the bathroom, and I'm going to see what little Mac was fussing about. I'll be back, once this is dried for the next coat. Hey there, and we're back. Now my paint is dried enough that I can start working with it a bit. It's still a little tacky. This acrylic paint I have takes a while to dry, but it shouldn't be a problem. Oh, and Mac's problem was that he was just tired, and like toddlers, cats can get very fussy when they are tired and they don't want to take a nap. But now he's in his basket and napping. The next thing that I want to do is add, letters to my plaque so that it will spell out the names of the various stages of the magnum opus. Now, the first stage, the black stage, is negredo, which is Latin for black. And next, we are going to do the Latin for white, which is albedo. And I've already, I know that these letters are about 1 centimeter wide, except for the eyes, which are 0.5 centimeter. So I've already calculated out how big it needs, or where it needs to start and where it needs to end. And so I can just put it on there. So I've got the ruler. So albedo. I'm going to line that up. And it needs to start 4 centimeters in. Okay. Now, B. I think I've got enough letters to make everybody. On my word, B, E, much easier when there's no I's in the word. I only got 3 D's. Fortunately, I only need 1 more for rubido. Albedo and rubido will be the easiest ones to put in because they don't have any eyes and I don't have to figure out, 0.5 centimeters. But the next one, citrinitas, it was a little not quite straight, but that's okay. There we go. And okay, maybe my paint wasn't quite dry. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little more paint on there and just kind of carry on because it's not going to matter too much once I get a little further because I am going to be putting more decorations on here. So we just kind of work around our mistakes because it is okay to make them. This is just crafts, not, anything too vital to the safety of the world. Let's see, citrinitas. I need to start about 2.75 centimeters in, which is very annoying. Or not 2.5, 2.75. So 2.75. A little further this way. See, it's a little skewed, but that's okay. Now, since I don't like that 0.75, I'm going to shift this over. Now 0.75, and that should give me, no, not quite 0.75, but we're going to just put you in here. It's between two whole numbers. And now we're going to get the eye. Come on. That's going to be Jesus is kind of tilted to the side. Anyway, T. R. Of course, citrinitas means yellow. The other eye. No, don't be too tilty. I get you straight up and down. Then we need an N. And it's kind of tilty too. Oh well. And another eye. And another T. And an A. No, not too tilty. And an S. And we're going to be done with this ridiculously long word. There we go. And now we move on to rubido. I need to kind of prop up my ruler on a couple of things just to make sure. Rubido is another easy one, so we start 4 centimeters in. And there's no eyes in it. Whoops. Should be easy if I wasn't so fumble-fingered. Come on. R does not want to cooperate. Push you down. There we go. And the U. And rubido, of course, means red. One B. There's only 3 B's. Why is there like 2.5 rows of A's and like no B's or D's? How many A's do they think we need? There's more A's than E's. Oh well. I don't know who designed it. Maybe they made it for another language where A's are more common. Or my E, D, that's my last D. better go on smooth. And an O. There we go. Not perfect, but that's okay. That's how you know it's handmade. So what have I all got now? Now that's more or less down the middle. I'm going to want to touch up the red paint a bit. But the next important thing I need to do is start decorating. And I think I'm going to start that ultimately. I'm going to cover this in sparkles, but I'm going to start off with just some bigger pieces. To, I guess, sort of symbolize the different stages. I still got these black gems, so I'm going to use some of those for Negrito. One there, and then medium-sized one, and then a little one. And then for Albedo, I've got more stickers. And I think I'm going to take one of these butterfly looking ones. And I'm going to try to align that very carefully in this corner. There we go. Good enough. And what have we got for Siphonetus? I don't know if I've been... Did I not? Oh, here we go. This is what I wanted to bring out. I've got these little musical note. I don't know. I just associate the yellow stage with music. Well, some of my friends know why. So I'm going to take some Mod Podge. I'm just going to in there, get a little brush, and go over this area over here a little bit, and then I can put my music notes down. I will be going over top of these with Mod Podge and varnish later, but for now we're just sticking things on here. And then for Rubido, I have these little roses, and I'm just gonna pop one on there. There, so that started my decoration. Now, I need to continue it. And I've got some little beads in various colors, and I think I can use those too. Just kind of balance it out around the other side. I immediately put my Mod Podged paintbrush into the water because I didn't want it to dry out. Gotta finish cleaning it. So I've got beads to put on there. And I'm going to do the same for the others. And the last four for Rubito. So this gives me the balance that I like. Not perfectly symmetrical because it alternates, but that is itself a kind of symmetry. There we go. That is what we have for now. And I think I'm going to actually leave this to dry overnight because I have other things I need to do. And when I'm recording, I can't use my computer. So we'll be back, later to sparkle this up. See you then. Hey there. Well, we're back again the next day. And as you can see, I have begun the decoration because this does take quite a while with drying times, and especially when you're using so many different colors and stuff that I don't really want to get mixed. Like there's a little bit of sparkle crossover, but that's okay as long as it's not a lot. But I have saved Rubito for showing you what I'm doing here. So, well, first I'm going to show you the other ones. So, not sure how well it shows up on the camera, but for Negrito, I tried making these sort of root structures because the Negrito stage's element is earth, so I'm trying to get that idea. And albedo is associated with water, so I tried making little waves here. And citronitis with fire, and I tried making little flames, but they kind of got lost in all the other sparkles. But I did add a whole lot of stars, so that's at least something burning. And then Rubito will be air. So I think for this one, what I'm going to do first is get out the Mod Podge. And I'm going to just coat most of it. I think, because sometimes, like for the Negrito one, I wanted to put down those root structures first. So I had to do that separately. But I think for Rubito, I'm going to put down the basic sparkle layer first. Just need a little bit there. And I'm going to use some of these big sparkles. In my case, I'm going to put them out in my hand and sprinkle them around. And if you land on citronitis, that's okay. There can be just a little bit of overlap, but we're trying not to get too much. There's some great big sparkles. And then have some little bitty sparkles. And sometimes these little bottles are hard to open, so I'm going to use pliers. And again, I'm just going to put them into my hand so I can sprinkle them. Make sure everything is nice and sparkly. There we go, that's a pretty good base layer. And realized that I forgot to fill my cleaning cup with water, so while my Mod Podge, sticks to the, bonds to the sparkles, I'm going to go fill that up, and I'll be back in a second. Excuse me, Mac. Yes, even though I will be only using Mod Podge and not any paint this time, it is particularly important to clean your brush because the Mod Podge is a glue and it will gum up your brushes, and they're quite hard to clean if you have forgotten to clean them, as I was struggling with a bit last night, because I am not always a sensible clown. Alright, so got this, and I'm going to shake off. Not all the sparkles will stick, so I'll just shake some of those off. There we go. And what do we want to put on there next? Since right now, it's quite plain compared to the others. But one thing I want to do about these little hearts, I'm going to put some of those on. And I'm going to use a smaller brush so I can put them just in, instead of scattering them all over. I'm just going to have them in a few different places. Now, Vito's humor is blood, so a heart makes sense. The most scientific way. Well, once again, the pliers. This one's, I think I'm just going to shake straight on. Come on. Until they stick, whatever. Okay. Let's just go back to the pinch and drop technique. One of the other reasons why it sometimes takes me so long when I'm doing sparkles is because I will just do one kind of sparkle at a time, and then I will collect those sparkles on a sheet so that I can put them back in the bottle. But I need to remind myself that I do not need to hoard sparkles. I can get more easily enough, as long as I'm not being, excessively wasteful with them. This is, what they're for. So some of them did fall off the edge here, and I'm going to see if I can get them back in the bottle. I wonder if this would be easier if I had longer nails. I trimmed them recently so I could do some work with sanding. My nails get in the way for that. But now that I've cut them, it helped with the sanding, but now I'm not sure if it'll help with putting sparkles on things or picking them up afterwards. Just push those in a little bit. Does it help? Probably not. We're going to shake off the excess. And I could leave it there, but I don't think I will. I found these, tiny rhinestones. Now I've cut them like this because these ones come in a sheet and they will, they're meant to pull off as a strip. And if I only want individual ones, I cut down like that so that they will be separate. And I feel like albedo, for one, needs a few more sparkly bits. I'm just going to place those where I think it needs a bit more sparkle. Looking for the clear rhinestones. Oh, got a few more on here. Basically where there's a little space. I do want these to be very, very full. One more can go here. Now, I don't have any black ones, but I feel like, I put a lot of texture on the Negrito one. There's these jagged bits and these little balls. So I feel like that's okay, but these other ones need a little more spicing up. The Trinidis is a bit more of a problem. Like, do I put the orange? And then the yellows are kind of brown, but then it'll probably do well with extra shades of yellow. Because right now it's a very strict gold. It looks a little plain, so I'm going to put 3 of each on. Decide where I want to put them. There's 3 plain yellows, and then see how orange looks on here. Orange. Here we go. Jewel up here. Now these don't look, as stuck as they might, because, once the Mod Podge is fully cured, I'm going to be putting a layer of varnish over all of this so everything will stick, and none of the sparkles will fall off and shed sparkles everywhere. Unfortunately, it's going to take a month to do that because the Mod Podge says that it takes cure time 4 weeks. So they want to make sure it's good and dry. And the varnish I have, you can't put it on until everything is fully cured. So with acrylic paint, that can be anything from 3 days to 2 weeks, but it's a Mod Podge I'm going to have to be waiting on. But it will look basically like this, just with a layer of extra shine on it. But next, Rubido needs some sparkles. I need some. Oh, there's only one red one on there. Need some extra rhinestones. Here. go. One more red one. Where shall I put you? About here. So there. I think that is about what I want for my little wall hanging. The only thing I need to do now is wait for my Mod Podge to fully cure and then varnish it. But I'm not going to show you that because that's not going to be for another month. But it will look basically the same, just maybe a little shinier. So that was painting a little wall hanging. And now I have to clean up an awful lot of glitter.